to start it by commending the management for calling up for this meeting, and I hope we will not find ourselves in this situation that until there is an issue before we start calling for such meetings. Secondly, is this classroom is beautiful and it's very, very interesting. I also appreciate you for putting this classroom together.
Let our location go.
I happen to have I actually have a client who has responded in an affirmative voice that he's not adding any money to it. What is the solution for such clients?
Can you repeat that question, please? I have a client like that. I'm capturing this. So repeat it. Just repeat the question.
Okay. Solution for clients who has responded in an affirmative voice that they are not adding any money to their payments, that they've paid fully.
Those individuals, what we did was that we created as much as, I think we had about 4 different options for individuals who want to, maybe they want to expand, they want to do that, and we had that in mind when we started our engagement.
Articulate a little bit because I can hear.
Please come forward, ma. If you can come there, sit here.
Same thing that I was hearing, but just at this question, the answer.
Oh, okay. Sorry if you're not hearing me. For those, we have different options available, but as we speak now, we have gotten to that particular point where, okay, anybody who says I want to maintain what we originally had, we created an option that was on ground before, so that anybody who says I want something, I want the same old design. If we get to the number of blocks, right now we don't have up to that number. If we get to the number of the block, we now build for that particular purpose. Majorly because we cannot start construction for something that we are not setting the width. So if we have that number, because even if we have that number, until we have that particular number, we cannot just do it for one individual who says I want it. Or we cannot do it for maybe 2 persons who says I want it. Because we need to have at least about, I think, 22 persons on the block for it to work, for that one to be effected. And then that's where, so we have that option also available as the last resort. And that's why even the engagement with the client, that's why we said that the engagement with the client will now determine what option we are now going to adopt. But the reason why we are taking the first part of this one is majorly because we want to be able to deliver something of value first. Then, however, if the person still insists on the original design or the original drawing, we will have a place where we can construct and deliver that same apartment. In fact, there's actually a client like that. I think a client who did, I think maybe he did about 5 units or so, but hasn't really made up his mind as to exactly what he wants at the end of the day. But what he has only been doing, has only been throwing money in our face. And it's not just about the money, it is just literally about him doing what exactly, him choosing the option that is available. If he insists on that number, we will now add it to that number and use that one and deliver that same unit the way to be. But at the end of the day, while we are having this conversation, it's not even just for that. It is that, okay, if you say you want it, then we are going to deliver it like that. But the reason why we are having this conversation and we are going back with, increasing and all that, is because we felt and we feel that at the end of the day, they may not like it. But let them just be that, okay, we have done our own part by ensuring that we notify ahead of time, so that when it is being delivered, it will not be our own cost, but it will have been a decision that they made at the end of the day. I hope I answered that question.
Okay, can we also have it in mind that there is a time frame that was given to these clients when they bought it? You know? And I know that Corona has taken a chunk of the delay. So now, making up the number for those who have responded in affirmative voice that they want it as it was sold to them, please, on your part,
we'll try to
look at the time.
We'll try, and that's why when it gets to that particular stage, as I've gotten to that particular stage, the difficult ones or the difficult client, not difficult client, but maybe the clients who are insisting, or probably maybe what we just have is that's where we can now even step in eventually and now have that conversation and take that conversation up, so that at the end of the day we will now exactly be sure that, okay, this, so that it doesn't look like, oh, I am saying this, or probably the impression I have is something quite different from what is being told. That's why we will now take this necessary step to now try to have that conversation again until we have gotten to that point. Because as I said, it's supposed to be an ongoing discussion, because it's also something that at the end of the day, it's either I get happy with my choice or I regret the choice. But it's so that at the end of the day, we don't get to that particular point whereby I wish I had, and I wish I did not. Because just imagine that somebody says, okay, continue, then maybe a few weeks after, a month after, he says, I don't want again, I want it bigger. It may not get to that point. So that's why we said that for now, let us have some of those clients that you have like that. Let us have that interaction. You will be there, we'll also be there, then we can now decide to
lastly, what I would suggest is, for such claims, I think you personally might create time to take on such claims, because listening to you personally, I think you should be able to convince more of them than, you might not really have the time, but if
I agree with you.
Listening to you, they might find you more convincing than those that you are probably one of your.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% with you. I agree 100% with you. No problem. No problem.
Sorry.
To address that, that's why the first set of meetings we had to go back and have a second one. So the directors were involved in the second conversation. So that's why we even have more people responding now.
That they want it.
So, and we also, there's something, we understand that for some people we would need to meet in the middle. So it's not as though there's a gun to everybody's head and that, oh, you must do this. We've had clients, I think I've sat in on a few Zoom meetings where the clients will say, I will buy X and Y, you buy X and Y. And we'll find middle ground. So this conversation is us saying that this is it, this is us. And it's for us to, where do we go from there? What's the next step to take? So there are some clients who will say, I will do my cabinet, I will do this one, I will do that one.